Hi, good evening everyone. This is Relive with the first proper vlog of the expedition. Really pleased to say that just after lunchtime here in Antarctica today, we've got the thumbs up on myself and Colin, the American, who's attempting the same journey at the same time. Boarded the Twin Otter aircraft for the just under 2-hour flight out to our chosen start point on the edge of the continent on the one ice shelf. So I woke this morning and I was really surprised and I looked out the tent and spotted Colin, the American guy who's attending the same journey, camped about sort of 500 meters down from me. So I sort of packed up and he's got going for about half an hour before me and sort of heading off. And then very much for most of the day we were sort of level pegging. At one point we sort of got close enough and had a quick sort of chat. But then obviously very keen to, maximise the solo experience, so sort of pulled off to the flank and we kept about a kilometre apart. But yeah, big day, probably because we were both sort of, pushing each other, I guess. And it was really satisfying this evening once I finished skiing to take out my food for this evening and roll up a 10-day food bag. And shove that into the back of the Colt, and that's just, nice to know that, that sort of, 12 kilograms sort of lighter. As I suspected, today, another heavy sastrugi day. It was pretty epic and probably slightly worse in places than yesterday. So, came out of the tent this morning to complete whiteout conditions. So just zero visibility, couldn't see the ground that I was standing on or any kind of undulations or anything. And bearing in mind I'm still in the middle of quite a heavy sastrugi field, it just really added to the challenge. So it was basically, we were going to be in for a day of tackling essentially an icy obstacle course, blindfolded, dragging essentially a bastard behind me. Pretty much snowed all day. There's a little fine sort of powdery snow bit down here in Antarctica, but again, really hampered progress and the coast was just like sinking. But, I've had a target, I wanted to reach Steele's Corner, which was 8 nautical miles away, so decided just to sort of chip away at it and keep going as long as it took to reach Steele's. And as I mentioned before, there's got a bit of runway there. A couple of buildings, a sort of snow clearing vehicle, and some other sort of bits and pieces and some fuel guns. I didn't actually see it until I was less than a mile away. It was that, so it was like actually that realistic. I got to a point today where it just got some really deep soft stuff and you physically couldn't move the Hulk with the weight of it. And just to finish off, I'd just like to shout out to my daughter, Amy. This is a huge congratulations, from me, having just recently passed your RAF entrance physical test, and I believe you'll start training in early December for the RAF. So, really proud, and I know how much it means to you and how big a challenge it's been. So, super proud, Amy. And within a few hundred meters, I sort of glanced back and I couldn't see the stone gear I'd left behind, which is quite disconcerting. Obviously, I had GPS marked it. I skied forward a couple of miles. I then dropped my tent and sleeping bag and another kit. But again, with a complete whiteout, it was quite risky, really. And I was totally reliant on the GPS. I couldn't even see my ski track between the two cage sites. They were getting filled in that quick with the snow, and with the whiteout as well, just couldn't make them out. So I reluctantly turned back and picked up the 30 days of food that I'd left behind, and obviously left with my tent and sleeping bag and other critical kit in the second cache. And I kind of realised it was quite high risk what I was doing, and I was totally reliant on the GPS device to sort of get back to that gear. So I went back, picked up the 30 days of food, successfully made it back to the tent and the critical safety kit, And sort of decided actually that in whiteout conditions that the risk actually was sort of too high. I got to roll up my third 10-day food bag today, which was great. And definitely the highlight of the day. It was around about sort of 2 o'clock, and I was actually still having a bit of a hard time. I was moving quite slowly, and feeling a bit sort of fatigued and done in. And caught something sort of moving out the corner of my eyes, and looked up, and there was a bird in front of me, pure white, stunning bird, about the size of a dove, with a little black beak, and literally fluttering sort of right in front of me. And obviously it was equally as intrigued by me as I was by it. So I sort of stopped and watched it, and it kind of looped around me a few times, checking me out, having a look. So I quickly sort of moved back to the pole and grabbed my grazing bag and scattered some a bit of a dried fruit onto the snow surface, see if I could tempt it in. And then I was trying to get my camera and see if I could get a prototype of it. But then eventually it was quite strong winds, and it was struggling to sort of hold station around me like that. And it takes about 2 minutes. And then the wind sort of caught it, and it was off. So the sort of massively spiritual person, but yeah. If ever there was somebody coming to pay me a visit and have a look, then that was it. It was really made my day, and spent the rest of the afternoon sort of thinking about it. It's just such an amazing moment. A huge build-up actually of sort of ice all around my face mask, and I've just transmitted a photo of a selfie I took at the end of today, and you can see just how cold it was with the huge sort of ice tusks that I developed by the end of the day. I didn't realise they were there until I was trying to set a tent up, and I felt this sort of building on my chest. I was like, what on earth's that? And I looked down and realised it was like how much ice had sort of built up all around my face. Did cross 89 degrees south today. So I'm inside the last degree, which is, great morale booster. Yeah, if I can maintain this sort of mileage, then I could reach the South Pole in 4 days' time. Sort of down to the thermal base layer. By the sort of middle of the day, it really was. It's really about -10 it felt. So yeah, really unusual conditions. But then later in the afternoon, the whiteout cleared, which was great, and sun came out. I was able to make better progress, and where I'd been just slow in the day, I was really keen to get as close to pole as I sort of could by end of play today, so I ended up extending the day quite a bit. Just to get myself in position, and I'm pleased to say I'm now camped 11 miles from the South Pole, which is absolutely fantastic. A long, hard day to get to this point, but I've positioned myself now deliberately so that I can certainly, reach the South Pole tomorrow. And absolutely epic day. I set my alarm for 4 o'clock this morning. Because I knew it was going to be a big day, and I was on the move just after 5, constantly scanning horizons through the mist, trying to look for something, and finally, sort of in the gloom and outline of a radar installation, which is one of the outbuildings of the pole, and just incredible feeling to finally see something and realise I was getting there. The ALE camp, which is a small tented camp, just down from the South Pole itself. So I headed there. There's only 3 ALE staff there. And then man Devon, the polar guide, came out to meet me as I skied towards the tent. So that was amazing. We last met in Punta a couple of months ago, prior to the start of the expedition. Big hugs and stuff, and then straight away, we just skied down to the actual South Pole itself.